Are you looking to implement pay-per-click advertising into your real estate business? iSpeedToLead.com is an a la carte PPC marketplace, allowing investors to get into the world of PPC on a budget. Browse and purchase PPC leads a la carte from all around the United States. These leads are from motivated sellers who want to sell now. So if you want to find motivated sellers using PPC, go to iSpeedToLead.com. We got you.
What's up, man?
We got you on the speed to lead. Let's do it. Let's go.
What's up?
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Back. This is my shining moment on Mondays.
Okay. I'd like to hear it.
It's my free therapy session. It's
That's crazy. That is crazy. You figured out.
I have to pay, dude. I have to pay for a therapist, dude. This
shit's expensive.
I just do this podcast, and I'm just like, I'm good, So.
This stuff is expensive. Yeah. What up, brother?
Dude, I'm tired. I'm tired today. Today was a rough start. I ended up going to dinner unexpectedly last night, super late, which I normally never do on a Sunday, and it was a disaster. It was a disaster. It was like something we thought was gonna be super easy, right? Like me and my girl were the type of people that we always think that we think we're gonna have a plan, and we always put a plan into place, and the plan just drastically falls. It drastically falls apart because we don't plan anything super ahead. You know what I mean? We're super So I was just so I always have an idea in my head of how things are gonna go, and then it never goes that way.
It's all right. I mean, at least you make the attempt to plan, and I bet you the time that you don't plan, you have the best time.
I mean, yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was a good time.
It happens, though. I mean, some things need to be pre-planned, some things not so much. But going out late on a Sunday, I don't know, dude. You're not a young whippersnapper anymore.
I'm not. I don't know what I'm doing.
You just can't do that,
man. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, no. I mean, the plan was that we were gonna hang out by my pool until the sun sets, right? And then we're gonna get ready and we're gonna go to dinner. And then the pool thing ended up going way past sunset, and we were the last people, chilling by the pool. And then
you're having a good time though.
Yeah, but it was by 9 o'clock. It was we didn't get back up here until 9 o'clock, and then obviously it's Sunday, so a lot of places don't stay open. What's crazy is I thought, okay, well, we're gonna be good. We're gonna be able to make it to the restaurant before 10:30. We're good, and so I had reservations in the restaurant, and then we were on our way there, and then we got stuck in a car accident situation.
Oh,
and
not you, so you just it was another wreck.
I mean, yeah, somebody else. Typical in Miami,
Yep.
Unfortunately, but yeah, then so we got into a car wreck, traffic, and then we were stuck there for almost 45 minutes to an hour. We didn't end up making it to the restaurant until 11:05 or something like that, and which we thought we were good because we were they're not supposed to close until 11:30 or something like that, so we're fine. We get there and they were just oh yeah, no, we're not seating anybody anymore.
We're tired.
Because we're well, yeah, we closed the kitchen already, and we're done, right? So I was oh shit, so I was kind of upset, but so then we walked to another restaurant that was open until midnight, that was close by. And yeah, and then we just like I didn't even realize how late the whole situation was. But we didn't get back home until like a little after 1 a.m.
Damn.
Yeah, no, dude. I know. Yeah. So it was like 1:30, I think, actually, when we got back home. So then, this morning, it's just, it was rough. It was rough, like waking up and getting up, and I didn't sleep a whole lot. So here I am.
I had a voice in my head this morning. My alarm went off at 5, and I was like, "Damn, I really want to stay in bed." And then I heard Dan's voice and it said, "Stop being a little bitch." So I got up and I went to the gym.
There we go. I'm glad that I'm still a conscious, even when I'm asleep. You know what I mean? I'm still in somebody else's conscious.
You see that?
And I'm like sitting there. I'm like,
maybe not in your own.
I wasn't in my own. I wasn't in my own conscious last night. Yeah.
Oh God. But yeah, no, it was dope, man. I got up and I was like, all right. I went to the gym. I felt accomplished.
There you go.
It's just a good start. Like, it's always a good start. I know. The thing is, like, I know that if I don't do it, the rest of the day is like catch up or just completely off. And I don't like that feeling at all, dude. I don't like that feeling.
Yeah.
So I'd much rather go through the pain of getting up that early and getting my ass kicked at the gym than having to struggle for hours to catch up and like feel sluggish. And then subconsciously I'm like, oh, you're a lazy bum. You didn't even go to the gym at all. And what time are you going to find to go to the gym later? Like, you're not going to do it. So instead of me beating myself up and the day beating myself up, I just, kind of bite the bullet and show up to the gym. It's my process.
It's admirable.
Yeah.
I feel like I had, like, last night though was like sort of like mandatory. It was a mandatory night in my relationship. So sometimes, you got to make sacrifices, I guess.
You gotta make the sacrifice, and I get it 1000%. It's just things got out of hand.
Yeah, things got no planning, got a little bit out of hand. We're both like just not like,
you didn't calculate that accurately, so but it's all good. I mean, we're here. Today has actually been a pretty decent day. Like, we're about to get our second contract of the day, which is good. So
there you go.
That's Sweet. Always good. Thanks to iSpeedToLead. Yeah. So that's working out. Everybody's kind of getting back into the mojo. Did some role playing this morning to get them ready, making sure that they're, what is it, that iron is sharpened so that they can start the week really strong. And they're so far so good. Had a couple of coaching calls. They went very, very well. Really good questions, and everybody's just out there doing the thing, man, doing the thing.
I thought about doing the role play thing on the server. I thought about having like role play days.
Yeah, it's a good idea. You just hear you'll hear exactly what they go through in the call, and it's easy to go ahead and correct. To be like, okay, well, I mean, if you're doing it on a role play, damn sure you're doing it on a real call. There's going to be a.
I think it actually helps people improve. Like, you actually think it helps people improve better?
Yeah. Because I really kicked their ass. They'd be like, "Why in the world would you say that?" Or
yeah, I mean, I do too. But yeah,
X, Y, Z?
I feel like I do too. I feel like sometimes I always feel like before in the past when I would role play with like my guys on my sales team, like, and maybe it was just the guys who were working for me at that time. Maybe they just weren't improving, but I always felt like I was trying to have them improve and giving them all these tools when we were breaking this stuff down, and they weren't applying any of the things that I was teaching.
Yeah. I mean, when you have, so for me, it's a little different, right? Like, these people are paying for coaching. I'm doing my very best to give them everything that
so
they got.
They're trying to apply. Yeah.
They're trying to apply because they're paying me for it.
Right.
Versus you're paying your guy. And so It's like, oh, I'm gonna try to get it right, but I'm still getting paid.
So I don't do that anymore. I don't with my employees that we don't role play at all anymore. If I just feel like they don't have it, then I just let them go and I just bring somebody else in. I feel like that does. I don't even waste my time. That was something that I used to do, and I just feel like I just now would rather hire people that are natural conversationalists. I try to just eliminate. I try to eliminate as much sales skills that you have to be on my team. Like I try, like my system, like I try to make it so that my system has to eliminate as much, sales situations, as it has, on that way. It's not like it's not like a situation where, like they have to have like some kind of special, like, closing skills to be able to close the lead. Like for the most part, they should just be able to get on the phone, have a conversation, and just like be straightforward and sign the contract.
Bro, even that is difficult for people, bro.
That's true though. You're right.
It's extremely difficult. I've literally taught people how to talk to people because my coaching is not like, yes, there's sales skills, but it's more conversational questions and like getting information, very important information about an asset. Now that I was telling my crew today is like, you have to understand, like, and I gave him this example, and I think it hit home, and I've never really given this example before. Let me ask you, bro, like, if I call you, Dan, and I say, bro, like, I need $375,000 in cash, like in 30 days.
Yeah.
I call you and I do that. Like, what are you gonna do, Dan? What's your next response to that? I call you, I say, Dan, I know you're my boy and all, but I do need $375,000 in cash in like less than 30 days.
That you're calling me.
Yeah. What are you gonna say to me if I called you, literally called you and say, hey, Dan, I need $375,000 in 30 days?
I'd be like, what do you need $375,000 for?
That's exactly my point, right?
Okay. What was
so then the whole thing is like, these people just they don't understand, like, hey, you're buying a big asset. And so if the seller's not willing to go ahead and give me information, then why do they deserve my $375,000 in cash as is? So it's the same thing.
Right.
You reached out to us. You stated you wanted to sell. Why should I buy your property at that price?
Dude, I hit a guy with that the other day. Like I called this guy like just randomly. Sometimes I was like dig into my CRM and I was like call people randomly without my guys' knowledge just to see what's going on.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
And dude, I asked him. I said, so I mean, I said, why? I said, if nothing's wrong with your house, I go, why do you want to sell? He goes, you guys called me. I said, we called you after you inquired to us to want to sell your house.
Right.
Like,
right.
Even if you responded to a cold call or anybody, you said like you were open to an offer, right, to sell your house. Yes. So, I'm calling you back now because somebody told me that you're wanting to sell this property. Like, why do you want to sell it for? He's just like, hey, because ain't nothing wrong with my house. I was like, then why would you want to sell your house for? Because that's not, he said, this is literally what he said. What he said. I swear to God, this is verbatim. I'm not making this up. This actually happened. Like those memes that people like go on those things and like, oh, I'll take things that never happened for $5,000, Alex. Because it just sounds like. Right. I swear to you, I have this on recording, and I'll play it for anybody that doesn't fucking believe me. But this guy tells me after I ask him that again, he says, "Why is my dick as long as it is?" It doesn't fucking matter. He said the whole point is it is what it is. So you can either buy my house and give me what it's worth and make me a fair offer, or we could quit wasting each other's time. And I was like,
I guess we're moving on.
That's what I said. I said, yeah, I can't remember what I said. I said something else. I said, can you give me any more information? He said, you know what, man, we're done with this call. He just hung up the phone.
Yeah, and I
I
tell
was
like,
like, but I was just like, this guy is just clearly not right. He's not inclined to really sell
no,
his house.
and that's totally fine, and that's why the coaching and the practice helps, because you and I are going to take that like, and we're just going to keep it moving, right? But other people, they get hurt with that, and they're like, they feel they've done something wrong, right?
Right.
And it's just like educating them on like, bro, like the people that want to sell to you, they won't shut up. They will answer every
They try to sell
freaking
you on their
question.
house.
Yeah, of course. So it's like, the role playing helps, because I'm that guy, right? I am that hard seller, because I'm not gonna do the whole easy thing, like, oh yeah, I just, my wife just died and I want to get rid of it and too many memories and I'm ready to go. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna give them the hard stuff, so that when they get on the phone and they hear somebody that's freaking like fair, it's an easy ride for them. They can have an easy conversation. It's the hard ones that they really need help with, right? And I've converted a lot of those type of deals, but it's the role playing and the listening to the calls that are going to help these people, overcome a lot of those type of folks. I've had
I hear you
sellers tell me the same thing. They go, "Hey, I don't need to sell my house. My house is just fine." You know what I mean? Like, you guys called me. Yeah, we make thousands of calls, but typically the sellers just tell me, the people that don't want to sell, that's what I said. The people that don't want to sell, they'll just tell me to go fly a kite.
Right.
And then that kind of disarms the whole thing. And it allows me to get into the whole framework of figuring out, who, what, where, when, why, and getting them to a number and seeing if this is something even viable. Because sometimes they're just tired of all the phone calls. So you have to sound like, a normal person and have normal conversation. They're tired of talking to inexperienced folks. And that's the whole thing, right? And so once you understand that, it'll make it easier for you to have the conversation and go through and do the deal, right? It's just that they're tired. They're just tired. And it's okay.
Yeah. I hear your Slack just like going crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. It's a different time, bro.
Hey, do you know, by the way, do you know these guys, you know a guy named like Joshua Rivera? You know who that is? He owns a company called Direct to Deals.
What does he do?
I don't even know if I should be talking about that on this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is he a marketing guy?
Yeah.
He's a marketing guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never mind. I'm going to go past. I'm going to go past that. But anyways, yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, no, I feel like a lot of people, like I feel like the biggest thing that my guys have a hard time with sometimes is really recognizing real motivation. That's something that so I told my team originally, since this month, I've really played it, and my guys have been doing a really good job. My new management has been doing a really good job of slowing down the amount of contracts. And I think last week we only got we didn't really get anything in, which is unusual for us because we were normally signing almost 10 contracts a week. But the issue is we were doing all these contracts, but just both teams overwhelmed. And most of these homes, the prices were fine. It's just the areas that these places were in were just unsellable.
Yeah.
And so I told my guys, I was like, look, if they're in a population under a certain number, then we need a significant price reduction, even below what it really would make sense.
Yes.
Right. And if they're willing to do that, then we go ahead and sign. But if they're not willing to do that, then we just got to tell them look, it's just not worth it for us to do that. I said, because, I'm driving my transactions coordinator absolutely nuts. The title companies are getting fed up with us. It's just we're having all this back end stuff that it looks great on the acquisition side with their KPIs, but I'm on the back end it looks horrible. So I go, don't lock anything up unless we're absolutely sure. So I'd rather do 8 contracts a month if we sell all 8.
Yes. than to do 10 a week.
I'd rather go 8 for 8 than going, 30 for 30 contracts a month, and only 10 of them are selling anyways. It's a third of what we're sending out is being signed, is being sold. It's just not. I go, it's just not. It's like we're overloading people on the back end, like we're overloading their work pile for no reason, and we're still making this. If we can still do that and still make the same amount of money at the end of the day, then we just need to focus.
And you will because you're focused on the quality. Those are
I think
always
so. See, like, and you know what? That's what I was doing to start with, and then I let somebody get in my head, and I let somebody say, "Well, but the more contracts that you're signing, the more contracts you sign, the more contracts you send out, the more deals you're going to do."
Yeah, which is so there's validity to that, but sometimes you got a very large percentage of canceled deals and or deals that are really skinny. Still takes your team the same amount of time to close that deal from beginning to end anyway. So between the cost of acquisition, disposition, transaction coordination, and the marketing, I mean, did you really make any money on some of those deals? Probably negative or break even.
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of those deals, man, like the ones that are like $5,000, $10,000, like we don't even really like. I mean, like my side of the company, like my side of like what I get off that's like, pennies. You know what I mean? Or at the after I pay everybody else out of that deal.
Yeah,
it just doesn't even really make any sense. I was just like, let's quit. It's fine to do one of those if we get a $10,000 assignment fee out of something that's just like we took a chance on and we end up getting it sold. We end up getting it sold, right?
Yeah.
But let's not sign something with just like the whole fear in mind of like being like, oh, let's take this. It's only going to be this much, but we know that, but we're going to take it anyways. I'm like, no, like we need to get a price reduction. And if they're not willing to go with that, then we just need to move on to somebody else. Cause we have so many leads. We have so many marketing channels open. We have so much flowing through our system. Like we literally have so much volume, like it doesn't matter. Right. So I'm just like, we are, American Airlines at this point, and I'm lucky enough that we don't have to pay upfront for our marketing costs. So, luckily all of our marketing channels are, joint venture partnerships. And I'm like, if it doesn't work out, then we move on to somebody else that supplies us, with other leads. So,
yeah, I agree. Cause I mean, some of it has to be like the volume intake of leads. I think that creates a lot of momentum as well. So I really like that strategy versus like getting one lead a day and then you're like really pushing to get that one closed because that's probably the only lead you're going to get today. So it kind of makes you make very I guess non-logical freaking decisions on the deal, right? Like, so now you're just pushing that $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 deal because that's the only one that you have, right?
Right.
So that kind of sucks. But when you're in the abundance side of things where you have a good amount coming in all the time, well, you can do the sales a little bit more relaxed. Not that you're going to just, flush the lead down the toilet, but even the conversations like, sir, I got like 5 more people that I got to get in contact with on this hour. If I don't buy it from you, well, I'm just going to buy it from somebody else. But, hurry up and make a decision. What do you want to do? Type of approach, right?
Yeah. Another thing is too, like we were sending out so many a week, and it'd only be like, we would send out 3 a day. Only, one of those would be signed, or, we'd send out 4 a day. Only 2, 1 to 2 of those contracts would be signed ever. You know what I mean? And the other thing is like, I'm like, why are we sending out all this shit? We're writing up all this stuff. We're having our transactions team do all this work, and we're not, these people are not really that serious. I'm like, we need to get a stamp of approval of seriousness.
Yes.
And we need this back to us within 24 hours. We allocate our funds for each deal. And I said, we tell them that, and that's a very fair situation. right? Like it's very fair for us to be like, hey, we allocate our funds to the side. If you don't sign us within 24 hours, we can't keep our funds, separated. So, if you don't get it back to us, then, we are, we're going to have to move on.
I have that rule every single time. Like they literally have 24 hours to sign. If not, then I automatically get the contract voided. And they can't, they can't do anything about that. All we can do is follow back up and let them know, hey, we actually have funds available. I had, our policy is that it automatically voids out if you're not ready to go, just because of the funds that we have. But, if you're ready to move forward today, then I can go ahead and resend it. Now, I don't know if you know this, but Go High Level, I believe they're going to have their own e-signing portal.
You told me that.
So then you should be able to send out those contracts, because I know that it takes a little, even though the contracts are simple, it just takes that other manpower, right, to fill it out, put the legal description, address, person's name, and those little fields, right? So it kind of takes time, DocuSign, the whole thing. So now what we're looking to do is kind of build it out where the fields are filled into the lead, and then it'll automatically send out the agreement, right?
That'd be sick.
Yeah, like that should increase the speed to contract, right? We got speed to lead, but you also need speed to contract. Because what happens is that since you're sending it off to an admin to write up the contract, then that person has to stop what they're doing. You got to let go of the seller, right? Now they're like thinking and analysis paralysis and all this other stuff. You send it, they get busy, and all this other stuff. And now, like, to get them back on the phone or to review it, it takes that much more time. But if you're able to click a couple buttons for it to be sent out while they're on the phone, it's like, all right, well, let's review it together. Bing, 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 bing. All right, cool. You just click here. It gets signed right away, and then the contract is back. So I did that with Corey Geary's team when he was running his wholesale business. Man, that shit worked like a charm every single time, because we would just send it. They would be on the phone. They would review it, have any questions, make modification, send it right away. We kept them on the phone. So it would be like an hour and a half phone call, right? To get them from like the beginning of the sale funnel all the way to sending them a contract, to reviewing the contract and getting it signed. But I didn't care because that was a quality close, right? Like I'd rather spend an hour and a half with that seller and actually get it locked in versus just sending it and then waiting 3 days or ever for them to sign it. You see what I'm saying? So we used to do that, and we used to close like at least like 3 to 4 contracts every single day. Each agent would do that. He had like 4 or 5 agents. He was crushing it.
What do you do when people have that objection of like they don't want to stay on the phone? Like they're like, "Oh, just send me something. I'll review it." And
man, you want the sauce?
I thought I was asking a valuable question there.
This is what people pay top dollar for my coaching, bro. No, I let them know that it's a company policy. And because it's a legal binding document, I'll be more than happy to send the agreement for review with all the terms and conditions. What I cannot put on there due to company policy is the escrow and pricing. So I send them a blank contract.
You send them a blank contract with just for them to like review the. Like,
that's all they need to do. It's not the price. The price is not what's going to make or break them signing. It's always the little terms and conditions, right? That's what they need to review. Because if it was just the price, well, then I could just send you a text message and say, hey, would you sell for $150? Yes. Okay. Well, you and I have an agreement. Okay, cool. But it's not the price. It's always the terms and conditions. So therefore, I send them the terms and conditions. They can go ahead and review it with no price or signature. You see? So it's just like, here, go review it with your attorney, go review it with whomever. And if you have anything you need to edit or something you don't agree with or something you don't understand in regards to the terms and conditions, just let me know and we can go ahead and revisit. And then once you are ready to go ahead and move forward and we've done all the edits the way that you like, well, then I can go ahead and put the stamp of approval with the signature and the pricing.
I definitely like, I think it works better that way. It's just like sometimes I feel like if you, I don't know. I feel like I've had situations where I've tried to do that, and I always feel like it slowed down the process, too much. But with us to where we're kind of like changing the pace at what we send out, like I think it's something that we could probably look into doing, more often.
Yeah.
Now,
Once you get that upgrade, whenever the upgrade comes out, then it'd be much easier because you could set it up to just send an LOI. You understand? So like that.
yeah,
Oh, review this, that, and the other. I'm not sure. I'm not ready to sign. What's your offer? Blah, blah. So then I'll just make that an LOI and just send them a blank contract. Like, hey, this is our company policy. Now, when you're ready to go, I'll be more than happy to go ahead and, put the stamp of approval there, get it all signed by my higher ups, because it depends on how much money we have at the moment when you are deciding to sell. And then you can go ahead and send it, right? Then you can go ahead and send the official agreement. Other than that, they're just going to get like an LOI, and that should be a lot more feasible. It's because it's a couple clicks, and then you're moving on. It's the labor part that sucks.
yeah, and with me, it's just like I can't review all the deals. That I don't review any deals, honestly, anymore. So I just kind of trust that I only get involved like if something's going on or whatever now, because with me, like right now, I all day long my day's just booked with people that book calls with me inquiring about my new company and our new service and all that. So it's like I'm closing people and selling people on that, or I'm booking time calls for onboarding with that now. And then also the other thing I'm doing is like, if I'm not doing that, I'm doing a live show. If I'm not doing that, I'm doing a podcast. If it's like, I'm not doing that, I'm doing content, or going to a meeting or whatever. So it's just like, for me, my day now is like this mostly, just me, like just doing this like all day long.
Yeah.
That's what I do, which is what I wanted. I mean, that's what I wanted to do. Like, that's what I want my day to be like.
So typically a company like yours is my type of avatar, right? Like I help folks that are running the business. They go off and they do their thing, and then I just man the acquisition team,
right,
for them to make sure they have somebody that they can feel more confident. Say, hey, I want to put this deal together. What do you think about this price? And then they get the confidence, like, hey, bro, you know what? Go get it for like 310 instead of 325. And just with doing that, like they'll go and they'll do it. Like, no, my higher ups, they literally just approved 310. Right? Like if they needed to do it on their own, a lot of times they just don't. They're like just trying to get another deal done. So they'll go ahead and lock it up at a higher price when they can really go get it at a much lower price if they just had that person, that underwriter that can give them the thumbs of approval. Right? And so that's basically what I end up doing, because for me, comping and doing numbers is like super duper easy. It takes me literally, I don't know, 60 seconds or so, unless it's like in some weird place or whatever, and I just push them to the limit to go get it at that price, and they normally come back with the price I approved. But they need somebody there to kind of give them the thumbs up. That's the whole point. You can't do that because you're running around, right? So your phone would be going off and you're doing other stuff, and you'll get back to them in 3-4 hours later. So it's not well,
feasible. Luckily that's why I have my guy Adam, and I'm training my guy Adam right now to be my COO, and he's he's really, I mean, he's improving every single week. So
that's important to have that person there. I don't know how most people do it without him, because it's a lot of work, dude.
No, he's eventually going to be, pretty much, running running everything to where it needs to go, pretty soon. And he'll pretty much he still asks me questions right now. And, if I really need like obviously my dispo team, like my guy that manages my dispo team, Zach, he's very experienced. He's been doing this a long time. So the other thing is too, it's like I kind of just tell Adam right now, I'm like, hey, if anything kind of goes off the rails, like with a deal that we currently have going, right? Like not something that's just in acquisitions, but like something we currently have going, you can always call, you can always call Zach at the end of the day, and you can be like, hey, Zach, can you jump in? Can you make this call? Can you do this for me? So that way, we can get this done.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you just need to deal with like heavy fires. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I really like at this point, I really can't, I really can't be, calling and directing deals and doing all this stuff. So, yeah, it's kind of like, I just kind of like make ultimate decisions, but it has to be something. I tell my guys, I'm like, it has to be something you can call me up real quick and you can be like, hey, can you do this? And get you at like, it's got to be a decision that I can just make on the phone real quick.
Yeah. I've been training these folks like that as well. Like, go put all the detail on the channel so that I can skim through it, give me like a Zillow link, and then, wherever the heck I am, whenever I have 2 seconds, I can go ahead and give you my feedback because,
right.
It's got to be that easy. And I have to have like the nuts and bolts of the information. If not, then, I'm kind of like shooting blind here. I don't know what the hell's going on. But yeah, I mean, that's basically the best way of managing the teams. Just got to call me with the 30-second synopsis, and then I'll give you yes, no, maybe so. Call it a day. Let's keep it moving.
Right.
Agreed, man.
Yeah,
this business has a lot of moving pieces, man. People don't really see it. They don't understand it.
Well, I think when you're actually trying to run it like a business, right? Because how many people run it just like a hustle from deal to deal kind of thing? They're like, they're just kind of doing the whole pieces and everything themselves. It's like they don't really understand the situation. I know we got a killer deal in Baltimore right now that we are having a hard time. The seller doesn't want to let us in. Like keeps pushing it back because she keeps pushing back the day we can get in. Like keeps making an excuse. And so I basically told my manager today, I was like, we just gotta like, she doesn't get back to us and let us know today and something reasonable, then you just gotta be like, hey, you gotta let us in or we're filing a lien on the house. It's like, because we have massive interest. So I was like, you have to push that though, because, at the end of the day, I remember when we first signed with her, she was like pressuring us, like, how fast can you guys close? Like, how fast can you do all this stuff? And I said, like, she pressured us to send her the agreement. She pressured us and she signed like right away. So, and, so I was like, we can't go through this process of just like letting her drag us around when we have massive interest. And so we just have to put the pressure on her of just like, hey, like you either, move forward with us, or we gotta like, we're pressing forward in another way. So
yeah, that is probably the best strategy, is to, kind of force them to do that. The other way, I don't know if you put it in the contract where like every time that like for the inspection period to begin once given access, right? Stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what we have. Yeah.
If you have that kind of saves your butt. But yeah, it's hard, man. Like there's so many moving pieces. Like you'll have a hot deal, and then the seller doesn't want to let you in. You have a weak deal and the seller has the door open 24/7, come in and out whenever you want.
Yeah, they got they're like lighting candles in there, like putting a red carpet out there, rolling a red carpet for you to come through.
Please.
Please. When can you send someone out? When can you send somebody out here? When can you guys get out here?
Yeah. That's always the case, dude. It's real estate is super interesting like that, where it's like anytime you want to have a really smooth deal, it just doesn't go according to plan. And then you have some like really weird deals that you think are not going to go as smooth, and they close and you're like, how in the world? Like it's so, I don't know. Real estate is fun.
I'm super dehydrated today, so I'm like
drinking away.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, that it's the bobbing and weaving, and it's good to have people on the team that can manage that type of environment, right?
You excited for fall?
I don't know. I live in Florida, bro. What is that?
Did you watch football opening weekend?
Yeah, I'll be watching that. There's a few things that I like about the fall. You know what I mean? Because then now we have sport, like actual sports.
I've already got my my gear back on. I'm representing for this week.
Let's go.
This opening week. I'm very excited to kick Indiana's ass this weekend.
Yes.
So this is like, for me, this is like, especially like growing up in a town where, like, you know, football is
huge,
right? It's like our college football team is probably, it's like, you know, it's bigger than like anything
out there.
Yeah.
Like, that's number one. You know what I mean? That's number one out there.
And people really are serious. They get really serious about it. So, but when you grow up in the country, man, that's all you kind of have, dude. It's all you.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm from New York City, so
you guys have a lot of different stuff. You know, I mean, you guys got like great baseball teams, great basketball teams. You guys got like all the different stuff. Like we don't really have much. So there's nothing really else. Like you guys got Times Square. We got like, you know, nothing.
Football. We got football.
We got the football stadium. Yeah.
Football.
We got the football stadium. But like those people, it's weird. It's weird being in Florida during the fall, especially. I mean, I will say when I was up north, when I used to live up north, a little bit farther up north in Tampa, it was more like fall.
Yeah.
So like it was, but down here, dude, you don't really get cold until like January, February of like the next year.
For like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
then you're done.
I remember like people hit like 42 degrees.
The only thing is that we do get to have sports all year long, right? Like
that's true.
All types of sports all year long.
Yeah, you can play tennis all year long.
Yeah, soccer pretty much all year long. You know, we have hockey stadiums, so play some hockey. You know, in our winter.
It's so ironic that we have like a hockey team, you know.
Yeah.
The hottest place in the country, we have a hockey team. Yeah, we, you know, I know like we and Vegas, like both Miami and Vegas both have a hockey team now.
Yes.
And it's like,
yes,
it's so weird, but
it's crazy.
Know, everybody loves hockey, I guess, everywhere. You know, they're everywhere. People love hockey everywhere.
And then we have water sports stuff too. You know what I mean? Like
that's
you
true.
You can go watch speed racing, you know, boat racing and stuff like that. Like that's a big thing.
Yeah.
So even when football's not, you know, it's not in season, we're able to have a bunch of shit to do. You know what I mean? Like there's so much sport.
Yeah, I guess I just kind of miss like I would always like this time of year would always be like that time where like, you know, like you like your house smells like cinnamon and like the trees outside like look different colors and you know.
Dude, I'm gonna send you some pumpkin spice. Okay. And then
put it in my house.
Then you put that in your house and you'll be fine, man. It'll be fall. You know, all you have to do is also like the blinds, just close them, right? And keep it nice and dark. And that's it. Don't let the sunlight in.
I was dating a girl from Rhode Island. When I first ever moved to Miami, I was dating a girl who was living in Fort Lauderdale who had just moved here from Rhode Island. And like I'd obviously been living in Florida for like over almost pretty much 2 years at that point. But she had just moved to Florida. Like she moved like straight from Rhode Island to Fort Lauderdale. And she was still in that stage where she did not want to let go of, she refused to believe that like she was like in a place where fall didn't really exist. You know what I mean? She was like inside of her house, you know, and she had like, you know, fall decorations and, you know, and she did the whole like, you know, like she had like the pumpkin spice candles and all that stuff. So
I gave that up a long time ago, dude. Once I left New York, I was like, if I don't ever have to see fall or winter ever again, I'll be straight, dude. Like I'm all island.
Winter for sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's brutal, dude. brutal. And
I'm going
I
up.
just,
I'm going up in October. I'm going on October because I promised my friend. My friend has a big Halloween party, and he does like a lot of like they go crazy for Halloween shit, and they're like really big into it, and so they've been doing it for like 40 years now. But like when they started doing it, I basically had started to move to Florida. So I didn't really get to like go to their first one. And then now it's become like a sensation back home. Like they're now like a big deal. And they even like their like event or whatever that they do, like they have a poster that they make. Like they have like a whole like presented by like their last name is Tidd, Tidd. It's like presented by Tidd Productions.
Jesus, what is going on?
So,
like,
do know.
Do they invite all of freaking Ohio State?
It's a serious, dude. It's a serious fucking production, man. Like a serious deal. And they really decorate their house like upside down, like crazy, you know. They run a contest, so they're in some kind of contest every year that's like nationwide, that you like video, you know, I mean, you take pictures and stuff of like your party, and then like you put it on you know, you put it on this platform, and then like you get all the people that come to your party to go to this platform, and like you try to win like best Halloween party of the year or something like that. I don't know, it's like some kind of
is there a prize?
I have no idea. Publicity, publicity. I don't know.
Because if I'm going to spend that kind of money and effort or whatever, I better like.
I think they're spending it though because they love it. Like I really think they started doing it just because they were just like, we're just going to do it one year, and then they just were just like, man, this was a lot of fun, and a lot of people showed up. Now like it's like crazy, and like so. Me and our dude Mo, who lives in Doral, like we're both flying up. We're both flying up. And yeah, I'm taking the new girl with me. So
should be an experience. Yes.
Yeah, she hasn't met my parents yet.
Oh boy.
So my, you know, but she's kind of like, she grew up in Illinois, but she's like she's like, well, but she grew up in Chicago. So it's a little bit different. But she's like a big city, so she's like a big city girl, like right off the jump.
I mean, it's still north,
but she likes country boys, so that's why.
So yeah, she'll fit right in.
She likes country music. No, she likes country music, and she likes to shoot guns and like all this stuff. So I'm like, you know, fuck yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like she's like, honestly, I think she's probably more excited than I am, because she's never been to a place like that where it's like, you know, where it's like the real country. You know what I mean? Like I think like when she was growing up as a little girl, like her and her dad did a lot of stuff together where they would like, you know, go shoot guns and stuff like that. But she's never been like in the real country where everybody's driving pickup trucks and like you're taking like, you know, like ATVs out in the forest and shit. So yeah, no, it's
she'll fit right in.
Yeah, she definitely will for sure. Like, and she loves Halloween, so she's like really hyped to get dressed up and go to this party. And
it's gonna be an amazing time. You know who wouldn't fit in, right? This guy right here.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I thought you were throwing something else in, but yeah. No, I was like, that wasn't gonna work.
It's not gonna happen. I mean, I'll shoot some stuff. I don't know. I can't promise I'll hit it.
You would fit in. They would like you. Of
course, everybody likes me.
They'd probably think you're Mexican, but
probably. What? What are you from Mexico?
Nobody is from any other country besides Mexico. If you're Hispanic, back where I'm from, you're only.
So let me ask you, son. Papers or no papers?
You're like, well, actually, I've been here my whole entire life, pretty much. So,
yeah. Were you born at the border?
Were you born at the border? Yeah.
Are you one of those dreamers?
No, they would. No, you would. Yeah, no, you. Next time like Justin comes down, like you got to meet my dude Justin, because like you guys would get along for sure. But he, yeah, him and his wife, they throw this like massive Halloween party, and he's been like begging me to come every single year. And last year I was gonna go, and then like last minute I was like, I can't do it. I was like, I can't do it. I can't swing it. There's just no way. Like I got too much shit going on. My life was like, in October last year was just not the same as it is this year. It was like chaotic, and I couldn't take the person last year, so I was like, that would have been a disaster. So I was like, you know, I was like, you know, this works out like decently, you know, decently well for me this year, and I already had promised him and told him I was going to come. Regardless, I was like, I was going to come, you know, alone, either way. But I was like, I am coming back, and you know, now I just got to figure out what I'm gonna be for the party.
You got
I gotta be like serious.
Weeks to figure it out.
I know, dude. It's crazy. Like it's like
you might end up on national TV, so you got to really think this out, bro. Like you started this conversation saying that you plan things, stuff like that. So you really
I try to plan things, dude. Yeah, that's the other thing is like I found out that like this is probably gonna go like this plan to do everything that we're supposed to do is probably gonna go. It's probably gonna be whack. But hey, you know what? We're gonna get our best shot.
As long as you get the costume down right,
I think
you're golden.
You
might end up on national TV. No pressure, okay? No pressure.
What should I be? What's the
college kid? I don't know. A frat boy.
A frat boy.
No, man.
That's too easy.
I'm the worst when it comes to that because I really ever get freaking dressed up unless the kids have some kind of theme. Yeah, it's not my holiday. It's not my holidays. It's not one of the things I do. But anyway, no, I mean, hopefully it's not brick, like cold out there.
I mean, I'm trying to think like how cold it. I think like I'll tell you, like I'll pull it up. I will pull it up. I will pull up the weather report of what it is right now. So right now, at night. It is already getting down to 58 degrees.
Ooh.
There. So by the time we hit October,
damn,
you know, but I will say that the thing is with going back there is like during the daytime, it usually isn't that bad. It's just like it's at night. That's
pretty brutal. Wow. Okay. Well then, I don't know how people flip houses out there in the winter. I guess they don't.
Oh no, they do. Yeah, full time, year round.
That's crazy.
I don't know. They're just built different.
They are, I guess. I mean, shit, can't catch me out there at 58 degrees.
Yeah.
Nah. Cool. Right. Well.
Questions?
Awesome, man.
Let's answer some questions.
Let's do it.
And then we'll tear it up. I think we get like a lot of the same stuff on a regular basis. What's your best marketing channel right now?
Online PPC.
Online PPC.
Yeah. I've never been.
You feel like it's getting you the best spreads?
Yeah, best spreads and best conversations. I don't like cold calling and text messaging people that are not soliciting for the service. It's an uphill battle. I mean, I'm great at it. Don't get me wrong, but you're just like barking up the wrong tree sometimes. So online is pretty much it. And I like Facebook too. I like Facebook leads. Pretty one and the same.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think sometimes I think that our highest converting right now comes from Facebook. I'm pretty sure. So.
You know what? I'm curious though. I'm curious to do direct mail again. I haven't done it in years.
That's what I'm thinking about getting into next.
I haven't done it in years, dude. It must be like at least 6 or 7 years since I've done direct mail. But yeah. I'm curious. I'm just curious.
My guy Andrew is doing it right now, and you know Flipwell.
Flipwell.
Yeah, he does it, and he's like obviously he's really successful with it, using it for his own business. And he'll do it for you if you offer him like a JV split on it. Like if you just want to try it out and you
Yeah,
don't want to pay for it up front.
if you want, send me his contact. I'll definitely do a JV with him.
Well, I need to have a meeting with him, so it might be cool if I could schedule a meeting with him, and I'll bring you, and I'll be like, hey,
yeah, that'd be great.
So like, because he's like, he obviously would only do that for people that he knows can, close, which obviously, we both can. So
I agree. Let's do that. Let's set that up. That'd be dope because that's interesting. I've been wondering about it for the last couple of months. Like, hey, what if I add that additional channel and see what happens? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that'd be good for us too, because we added back in cold calling and everything. So we've already gotten some promising stuff from everything. So, but everything that we're getting in at the end of the day, it's all inbound. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, for us, like we're not doing any inbound.
That's why, like, I consider mail inbound, right? Because I'm sending out the piece of mail, but they have to call, right? Like
they have to call.
Yeah, versus me forcing the call and going hunting for people that may not be the avatar. So,
do I need an LLC to start my business?
It depends on what kind of business. If you're getting into real estate wholesaling, then you could do like a couple of deals without it.
Right.
But then after that, like once you solidify that this is what you're going to do, you're going to start spending some marketing dollars and maybe hire some people. Yeah, you want to go ahead and get an LLC to do that. But in the very, very beginning, if you're going to do wholesale, now other businesses probably are going to require for you to have an LLC right out the gate before you start doing the business. But if you're talking real estate, you don't need it for the first couple of deals.
Yeah, you can't you can't do that in the medical world. Right. This little agency called the FDA might just shut you down.
You guys seem sketchy.
Yeah, they're like, wait a minute, So they'll probably be like, what's really the difference between you and a drug dealer at that point, right? At the end of the day,
right? For sure. It's a fine line. Okay, it's a fine line. I tell
people, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, just because you have an office but you have no business entity and no licenses, that's the biggest thing. Is I think that obviously if your business needs licensing to run, then you obviously have to have the entity formation to get the licensing for your business.
Correct. So, but I don't know. This person might just getting started now in wholesale. So,
right. What do you think about Alex Hormozi's new book?
I keep checking my tracking every day.
Oh, it's not here yet?
It's not here yet.
Oh, damn. Wow.
Yeah,
it must be like overwhelmed with orders probably.
He was like, dude, he told us like, hey, please be patient because it's going to take us a little bit. Shipping, because it's the ones I ordered are hardcover, right? And so like shipping, the special shipping is expensive and it's heavy. So yeah.
I got the audiobook.
Cool.
So I've been listening.
You get any good nuggets?
I mean, I think his whole thing already applies to a lot of the stuff that I'm already doing. You know what I mean? Kind of like in that motto of just like don't ever change your offer, right? Like don't ever lower your offer. Add more if you want to, if you want to make your offer more valuable because you notice that people aren't picking up on it. What you can do is you can kind of add in a whole bunch of transparent stuff that's not as hard to make or whatever, and you throw that in as added value as free stuff, right? And then it makes people at the end of the day want to go and buy your product more and actually pay the money because they're like, I'm getting more in return, right? So they believe that it makes more sense. But overall, at the end of the day, you're not really giving, you don't want to put a whole lot more on the table. You can just add in something you can for some people, they make ebooks, right? They write a short little ebook up. which now you can do 100% with AI, right? Like you can have AI write a whole bunch of stuff for you. You give it a topic, you kind of just go through and edit it, and it writes a whole bunch of stuff. Like I just used AI as a companion to write a whole documentation report for adipose stem cells, because we're teaching I'm a teacher right now in a course where we're online. We're certifying people in the usage of adipose injectable stem cell usage. Because it's FDA compliant and all these things, and it allows us to be able to use stem cells at a much higher rate. Blah 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 blah. So we're doing a whole certification course on it. But the course in its sense is more so the company can sell its product of because they're producing the adipose stem cell injectable product called Cresca, which it's a great product. The product itself does have a lot of value, but they decided they're like, hey, we're going to create this certification course, right? To where you can come in, you can learn more about stem cells, and we're going to offer this to people for $100, right? And you can come in and get this education for $100, $250. And then so the certification course is really cheap. Now the adipose stem cells are expensive, but what we do in the webinars when we go through and we do the classes, what we do is we say, hey, if you're attending the certification courses, you buy the certification courses and you attend the webinars for the class, you'll get a special offer on your first order of Cresca that somebody else won't get, that just goes to the website and goes through us and orders it. So it encourages people, and you're going to also be better off because we're going to give you the certification to be better off to use it, right? So we're going to be able to put you on our website as a valued provider of Cresca. We're going to add all these little things, right? So that more people all of a sudden are starting to buy tickets to get the certification course, to get to do the education course. Plus they're also spending, they're more likely during the webinar, they're more likely to buy their orders of the stem cells than if they were to just go on there and just buy it themselves. Because at the end of each class, at the end of each live class, they get continuing education hours, because it counts as continuing education hours for them. Plus they get a special offer on this, bottle of, stem cells that they would normally have to pay full price for. So that's a good little example of what he's referring to there.
It's a good funnel, right? To get people in, and
because we're offering more value, right? At the end of the day, and then at the end of the day, those of us who are teaching, we're getting affiliate commission off of all the models that are sold during the webinar.
I got it. Yeah. So I'm excited to get to deep dive into the book. I'm not a big marketing guy, so I've always outsourced all the marketing, but at this point I have to do a lot of marketing for myself. So now I really want to get into that side of things and really learn some tips and tricks. I feel like without learning that skill set, dude, man, you're freaking dead in the water.
Yeah,
when it comes to scaling business,
if you're a great marketer, you don't have to be great at sales. You can just be decent at sales and be a great marketer and make more money than someone who's great at sales and shitty at marketing. Because you can be great at sales, be shitty at marketing, and not make any money.
100%. So that's why I need to get the marketing side, because I'm a phenomenal salesperson. But I could be a freaking better marketer and then absolutely dominate, right?
Right.
So that's where I'm at right now. So that's why I'm excited for the book more so than anything else. So let's see. I might be taking over the world, bro. Maybe I should just partner up with a crazy marketer and let them do all the marketing.
That's always a goal too, right? You choose your strengths, you know what I mean? Because not all great marketers are great at sales, but if you really it's kind of goes back to who I think is one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time, Phil Heath, who was Mr. Olympia seven times. He said, you can definitely be a hard worker and outwork people with great genetics, right? If they have great genetics and they don't work really hard, at all, eventually like if they don't ever apply themselves, you can outwork those people that have those great genetics.
It's true. I believe that.
You can also, though, you can be someone with great genetics and you can have someone that works really hard. But if that person just applies a little bit of effort with the great genetics, they can overcome a lot of people that just work really hard and have no genetic capability, no genetic talent. However, right, he always said, but if you have great genetics and a great work ethic, you'll beat everyone, right? It wins every time. He said basically, hard work wins sometimes, great genetics wins other times. Hard work and great genetics wins every time. That was
every single time, which makes a lot of sense.
I mean, if you have a great salesperson and who's also a great marketer, sure, it's very hard to compete against a person like that because they can apply their sales tactics inside of their marketing, and then it becomes like a double-edged sword, right? Because you can have someone that understands the ideologies of marketing. And I know a lot of people that understand how the marketing channels and all that stuff works. But at the end of the day, it's like, it doesn't hit the same as someone who is great at sales and, also great at marketing. They just can't, it's like you can't beat them. So
I'll be honest. I mean, that's where I struggle the most is the marketing side of things. And once I master that, I think, I'll be kind of off to a new shit. I might just stop doing so much sales and just do more marketing than anything else.
I've gotten better. Like I've gotten better in the past year or so. Like that's really what changed the game. Like for myself, I've learned how to apply my sales tactics inside of marketing. So I think it is hard for people who are really great conversationalists to get great at marketing because it's like the whole strength in being great at sales is this whole aspect of like, you can have these super great conversations with people. Right. But it's like marketing stuff because now you have to try to identify the person that you normally would be having a conversation with inside your head and then try to apply that into the marketing channel or whatever it is that you're using to funnel those people rather than just like sitting down with someone one-on-one. You'd be like, man, if I could just sit down with these people and just be in a room with everybody, one-on-one and sit there and just talk for an hour, I'd sell all these people. But it's like the idea that I have to create a fucking this idea that I have to create like a funnel or a poster or something, right?
For that person, right?
For that specific person. And I don't really know what to say because like a lot of part of sales is like I say something, I watch how you react, and then I change my course depending on what you say or how you respond to me. And then I slowly take the path down the river until I get to the destination of where I want us to go.
Correct. But
in marketing, you got to already have the destination picked out in your mind, and you have to build a boat, right? That's going to attract the people that you want to go get on that boat to take them to that destination.
How old are they? Where do they live? What kind of habits do they have? What kind of motivation they would be in, like what kind of scenario, like you just have to plan the whole freaking thing out and know who the heck you're targeting before anything else. And I think that's where it becomes, I guess, challenging to really figure out who those people really are.
So my friend Mo had a great example one time that he told me, and it's like changed a whole lot of my aspect. He said, when I first started my online course, he created an online course of like how to easily pass your NCLEX test for nursing boards, right? So he was like, when I first started it, I'm in the camera and I'm speaking to people and I'm going, hey guys, like, I am, how I easily pass my nursing boards and all this stuff and blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting there and I'm talking and, my name's Mo and I'm from Lebanon and, and I came here, 10 years ago and, and I've worked up in the nursing field. He said, and like, I didn't know who I was talking to. He said, I remember like my guy, like Billy Jean, who has Billy Jean marketing, is big in the space. When he started working with him, he goes, who do you think is your audience? He's like, I mean, I'm assuming like somebody like me, right? Like somebody like me, that's who I'm speaking to. He goes, go to your analytics. And the majority of the people that all clicked on his link, on his funnel, and actually bought his course, which wasn't really that many people at that time, it was like mid-30s, black, female, single mom. That was his, like, that was his
here he's thinking something else, and it's like
so he's like, once I got that in my head, he goes, okay, that's the person. When you talk to your phone, when you're making these videos, you need to be imagining that you're speaking to a mid-30s black, female single mother who just failed her NCLEX test. That's who you need to be speaking to when you make this video. He's like, that's you crazy. Imagine that on the other side of that phone, and you imagine that you're speaking to that person, and you make a video and you say the things that you'd be saying to that person. Watch how many more people buy your course.
That's so wild.
He tripled in a month. He tripled the amount of people that bought his course.
It's just like, you just don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean?
And like the other thing too is like, he made a very good point. He's like, you lose people within the first 4 to 5 seconds of your video. So if you make a reel or a short or whatever, like you have to come out in the first 3 to 5 seconds of that video with whatever it is, the trigger words that you want somebody to click to purchase. So when he made his first video, he was like, his first video ever that he ever made was like, hey guys, what's going on, guys? Like, this is Mo from Lebanon, and I just did this, blah, 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 blah. He's like, all these people just clicked out of your video, right? They're done. They don't give a shit, right? But if you change it to say instead, you go, instead of saying all that, you just go, have you recently just failed your NCLEX course? He's like, boom. First line, he's like, how many people do you get like right off the bat, right? And it's like all these, like the whole idea with him switched. And so he started, when he got some success and he bought his first like supercar at the time, he bought this Ferrari. And he bought a Ferrari 458. He like took like, he basically had like enough money in his bank account just to put the down payment on the car. And he took a big risk, and he put his Instagram handle on the side of the car. And then he goes to the car, right? And then he started taking videos in front of the car in his scrubs. So he'd put his scrubs on with his stethoscope, and he would take a video of him in front of the Ferrari, and he'd be like, have you recently just failed your NCLEX course? Like right off the bat. And it's like people are looking at him in the scrubs in front of the Ferrari and be like, who the fuck is this guy, right? Like, what the hell is going on? So,
which is dope because then, I mean, that caught a lot of attention because number one, he's wearing the scrubs. Then number two, he's in a Ferrari. Like, what in the world is happening here? Like, I need to stay for this.
Find out why he's like asking me if what is it like me failing my NCLEX course have to do with the fact that this guy is owning a Ferrari,
driving a Ferrari,
and he's like, hey, my name's Mo, and I am the current richest nurse like in the United States. And and I teach people how to pass their NCLEX course. No matter how many times you failed, I will teach you how to pass on the next try, guaranteed, or your money back. If you just take my course, all this stuff, it's like the easiest sale at the end of the day, right? Because all these people want to do is just go back and take their course and pass it. So he just started selling people on the idea of just doing that, and then it was just like, boom, and then his whole profit and everything just switched up. And so, I took a whole lot of that, into the pieces of when I do my webinars and stuff now. I make sure that I pitch the importance of what took me from one level to the next. And a whole big aspect of that was my system that I put into place. And
because people, right? Like, so yeah, I mean, which makes sense because you'll get right to the same issues that you'll know exactly the same issues everybody else is having. And then you kind of just target right on there. And that should help convert, right? Like you catch their attention, 3 seconds, boom. Now they stay for the rest of the thing,
Yeah, right now I'm pulling in about 2 to 3 people every single webinar that I'm doing, and right now I think my average combined attendance right now is like 25 to 30 people on REI Rev and watching the live, and then I have about 30 to 40 people that bought tickets for the actual webinar that are watching in the webinar room. So I have a combined like 70 to 100 people every single webinar, and I'm converting about 2 to 3 of those people. And it's like what I'm doing is like slowly building also a base of analytics doing that, right? Because now I got to see how many people I have to be speaking in front of or doing to be able to sell 2 or 3 people, right? So it's like if I'm selling like 3 out of 100, just to say on the low end, just to keep my numbers more realistic, that means to sell, to sell 300. That means I have to reach, 10,000 people.
Yeah. Damn. The numbers are there.
Right. Yeah. Because it's like if I want to sell, and if I sell, and that's the thing is like if I sell 300 people just on the CRM itself, like not even selling the whole business consultation service, if I just sell people on the the CRM itself, then that's $90,000 in residual income a month. Every single month.
That's huge. That is
just from selling a continuous CRM.
And yeah, because and it's already a what's it called? It's already a system that exists, and it's just copy and paste. There's not really much to it.
Yeah, it takes like a few minutes to like heat up, and then it's like boom, just go in, and it's like good.
Damn, I like it. I'm gonna have to become a sales guy for you.
Dude, I need to give you an affiliate. Right? That's the other thing that what I really want to do is like now I'm gonna be like I know enough people that I know that can sell my system to other people, and I'm like, I really want to, that's the one thing I didn't do in the past is I didn't do enough like for stuff that I've sold in the past. I didn't do enough like combining like networking and like affiliate opportunities. Because if you just give people the opportunity to make money off of your product, like I have like a guy who works for me. And who is my lead manager right now. He is like him and his partner started a skip tracing business, and he's like we're selling a whole lot of these people on the skip tracing for like realtors and stuff, right? And we're doing all these they're doing their own like webinars and stuff like that. And he's like, a lot of them are like interested in like, oh, do you guys have a CRM that you guys like to use or whatever? He's like, dude, I just need you to like build out a CRM for like the realtors. So that way, like, I can sell it to him. I said, I already got one ready to go for realtors. You just plug it in. Like it's $300 a month. You sell them on that. I'll give you $100 a month. Right. I spend $100 a month. I get $200 a month. You get $100 every single month off of every person that you close.
Easy. It's like, and they're doing all the sales and the fulfillment.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and I just upload the data.
Yeah, that's it. I like it. I'm on the wrong side.
I realized that the other day I made like 15 grand in like, in like 3 hours. And I was like, this is what I've been missing out on.
Yeah. I think about that all the time. I think about it all the time. It'll take me about if we're talking about deals. It'll take me, I don't know, 6 weeks to make 20. Okay. 6 weeks.
Right.
You did it in 3 hours.
Right. And it's immediate. Yes. The fulfillment is immediate too.
Correct. So, mine's is up and down. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah. Like at the end of the 6 weeks, do you know if that 20K even gets, hit, you don't know anything to go wrong. And the other thing is too, is like pretty much my whole process is zero in overhead. You know what I mean? Like I don't really have, like my marketing cost is like a fraction of what you have to do to market to, people who want to sell you their house, right? Because it's like a whole different other scenario. And so, it's, it's not like a big thing. And then, I'm also doing, I'm also like, they're pitching my product. I'm pitching their product now in my webinars. So if you need skip tracing services, I got an affiliate opportunity with their company. And so it's like a back and forth. So, and then also we're using the skip tracing for our company's cold calling stuff. So it took like off the cold calling people that we hired, it took a big chunk out of the cost up front. So
win. All right. Well, this was a good one.
a lot of gems.
Yeah,
A lot of gems dropped tonight.
Yeah. Awesome. Shit. All right. Well, where can these people follow? Because I know you have stuff going on.
I do. We have. Oh, did I do it right? I did it. Oh,
there it is.
Here we go. We're getting better. Yeah. Yes, I was like reading. You were like reading that first. You're like, hold on 1 second.
Wait a minute.
If you guys want to follow us on Instagram, our Instagram handles are in the lower left-hand corner of the video. As always, guys, if you guys like the video, we are back at every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys want to make sure that you never miss a single episode of Charming Your Way to Success with me and Mr. ACQ, all you have to do is click that subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner and click the little bell next to it so you get your notifications and you never miss a single episode. If you like the video, didn't like the video, whatever, don't like the video, just doesn't matter. If you like the video, make sure you leave us a thumbs up, write a comment below and tell us what you liked about it. Leave a question if you want to for next week's episode. And as always, guys, I don't know, just come back, watch this again.
Watch this again.
Buy our products, follow us on Instagram. Hopefully.
Peace out, guys.
Bye, guys.